So they just made it, Zach, I want you to speak to this. They just made it so the common person in India now has to pay 15% tax instead of 6% tax to get the gold into the country. And they're a net consumer of gold, meaning they can't produce enough in their country, so they have to import gold. What signal is this really sending in the world about fiat currency and the fiat currency in India today, where they're telling their people, hey, we're going to 150% increase the tax on gold in our country?
Introducing Zack Davis and Josh Anderson with the SoundMoney podcast.
Well, I was more shocked this week at what came out of India. We don't have it on the infograph, but we put it out in the report because I just think this is like scary to me. Unless you're a stacker. If you're a stacker, what I'm about to share with you, you're going to be super excited about. If you're not a stacker and you've just been listening and you haven't been buying gold and silver, oh my goodness, you got to get in the market. Okay, so India this last week did this radical thing. If you don't know this, India is the second largest holder of gold on the earth as a country, as a people. They store their value in gold.
Physically,
yes, physical holders of gold, and they actually store it in the housewives of India. There's more gold held by the housewives of India in jewelry than any other country in the world. Okay, so this is a group, a community, a culture who understands not just the intrinsic value, but the life-saving monetary power of gold. Okay, they use it as a hedge against inflation in their country. Well, here's what India did, Zach, this week that nobody's taught. I have not seen this on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. Not one headline, but our team dug this out and found this, right? This last week, India raised their gold import duties from 6% to 15%. Think about this for a minute. Zach, 150% increase, okay, of a tax on gold in India. Now, in history, this has only happened a handful of times when a country has 150 times increased their tax on gold. And it's only been done for one reason, because they're scared about the devaluation of their currency. So they just made it, Zach, I want you to speak to this. They just made it so the common person in India now has to pay 15% tax instead of 6% tax to get the gold into the country. And they're a net consumer of gold, meaning they can't produce enough in their country, so they have to import gold. What signal is this really sending in the world about fiat currency and the fiat currency in India today, where they're telling their people, hey, we're going to 150% increase the tax on gold in our country? What are they saying?
Yeah. What they're saying is, we want you to use the currency because it's debasing and it's devaluing. What they're saying in that move, what they're saying is, we don't want our citizens of India to be storing their wealth in precious metals or gold anymore, because we need them to use our fiat currency because it is debasing. That's what it says. They're trying to disincentivize their people to buy and store gold. So anytime the government is trying to disincentivize you to do something, you should really pay attention to that and be like, I should maybe think about doing the opposite, because they're telling on themselves, right? They're pulling the curtain open and showing you all the ugly stuff when they're making that statement, if you're paying attention.
Yeah, I'm blown away, Zach. You know, they're telling their people, our currency's in the garbage, and you keep storing your hard-earned values, your store of value in gold, and it's hurting the currency, and we need you to stop, which means you should race and store your store of value in gold.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll say, right? We just mentioned, right, the great US of A, America, right? We just haven't added the tax. But we are so much more we're so in trouble compared to India when it comes to military spending currently, to national debt, right? To the interest alone now is more than our defense budget at the current interest rate. And we know that Warsh, he has to increase interest rates. We've been wanting a reduction in the interest rate. And folks, it's now not going to come. With inflation, 3.8 is impossible.
Yeah, which by the way, Josh, I was going to mention earlier when you were talking about this, only $150 reduction and hit this floor.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that Warsh wants to increase the rates. And just by him saying that, he wants to increase the rates, it should have pushed gold way through that floor. Like it should have just blown through it, right? Because again, all these big operations, when they have cash sitting around, what that says to them is interest rates are going up. I'm moving out of gold and precious metals, and I'm moving all my money into high yield bonds because interest rates are going up. I'm going to make money off my money, right? So I'm getting out of gold, which would drive the gold prices down, and nobody did it. And Bank of America, JP Morgan, none of those guys, even after that revelation from him saying we need to raise interest rates, none of them changed their end of the year projections for where they think the price of gold is going. That's insane.
It is insane. Sometimes, Zach, do you feel like that we were actually living in a bubble most of our lives until a decade ago, like you and I? Like these things were going on. My uncle, I have an uncle named Kenny. He would preach to me like crazy pre-2008. Preach to me like crazy. Buy gold, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, buy gold. And I didn't get it, right? It seemed like voodoo magic to me, right? Like what drives this price? And here you and I are a decade, well, more than that now, but a decade into owning two of the biggest precious metals companies, right? And we fully understand it now, right? We know all the economic pressures. We study it on a daily, we know it, right? And I just want our listeners to know that when India does that, and when a new hawkish Fed chair comes in and is going to have to move interest rates up, not down, and gold holds its value, oh man, you should run to buy. You should sprint to buy. The whole world is telling you that the fiat currencies of the world are in big, big trouble. And if you want to be protected, the safe haven asset of gold and silver is the answer. And so,
yeah.
Boy, yeah, I wish we had this big megaphone, right? But maybe idiots wouldn't listen anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we didn't, right?
We didn't.
You didn't listen to your uncle. I didn't listen to my grandpa. It was like gold. That's what my grandpa does. He mines gold. Like that's just an old guy's thing, and he's paranoid. That's a Great Depression thing, and we're never going to have another Great Depression, right? We're a more civilized society, and technology is advanced, and so why would I own that? But the one thing that actually, when you compare India and the United States of America, do you know the one thing that actually makes me the most nervous about that comparison?
Go.
Is the fiat currency of both countries are equally as unstable.
Yes.
But only one country over the years has their citizens actually been doing the things that will protect them when it all blows up. Because in America, we are a consumer country. We just buy stuff. We consume, right? And we throw it away. We buy recreation stuff.
Go look in your garage. You just got crap, right?
It's everywhere. And none of it has any value.
Yeah.
So we're spending money in places that is not going to help us down the road. Like we just have this insatiable desire as American people to just buy stuff. And it's the media and the commercials and the marketing. They've done a great job of teaching us how to do that. But the problem is you could look around, like I promise the average person listening on this call today, you could probably go to your house and you could probably spend 10 minutes. And I'll bet you could walk around and look, and you could probably come up with about $5,000 worth of stuff that you'll be like, I don't even use that anymore. I don't remember why I bought it. I used that once, or I bought this on Temu. It was so stinking cheap it broke. By the way, they had a big fire, Temu. I don't know if you heard.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, it burnt down all 49 cents of their inventory. It cost them 49 cents. But if you looked around, like seriously, Josh, if the average American looked around, they would probably find $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of stuff sitting around that they just bought, that they're not using, that they could have purchased in precious metals. And the people of India for years have been buying jewelry. I mean, they're dripping with it. I mean, they wear it. And so, if something happens to their currency, they will be much more protected as families than the average American family. Because the average American family is going to go, well, I wonder how much I can get up for this bicycle off of Facebook. Well, guess what? When everybody else is as broke as you are, nobody's going to buy the bike. Like it's not going to be worth $50.
Yeah, and I know it happens with age. I know Zach looks like a kid on the podcast, but he's really not.
Yeah, I'm 15.
I know exactly.
Graduate high school tomorrow.
Plus 40. No, and maybe it's a thing of getting older, right? Getting close. I'm getting close to the century, the 50 mark, and perspective's different. And I look back at a year ago, we were touting and telling on this show every day that, hey, now's the time to buy gold and silver. Now's the time. And boy, fast forward just 12 months, right? From 12 months from today, you've more than doubled your value, which is remarkable, right? And I think about that. And to your point, the citizens of India, who a year ago were doing that, the gold they're wearing around their necks doubled in value this year. And as their currency, just like ours, like when the CPI is 3.8%, that means that inflation is up 4%, right?
Everywhere else.
Everywhere, in every aspect of your life. So it's exponential.
Yeah. And we're the best economy in the world, Josh.
Yeah. That's why it's so important today, right? That's why we do all this, Zach, this education and this podcast. It's why we have our company's SoundMoney wallet. Like this is because if a person is disciplined about going out, buying, I don't care, $200 a month, find the $200, buy $200 fractionally of gold or silver every single month. And guess what? In these little dips, when these things happen, like this happened, and it drops by $150, you just got the greatest buying opportunity because it's not staying there. Like we've found the floor. Pretty amazing, right? And so I just love what we're doing in the world, Zach. Like sometimes you get up in the morning and you say, we're really doing some good. This business is doing good. And I love the good we're doing with that because for every person that listens and every person that gets involved with what we do, they are going to win one day. That's a fact. They're going to win for their family. Well, so,
yeah, and we have the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of people aren't in this market and they don't understand it. And they think about gold and silver kind of the way that you and I did 10 years ago. But now with the advantage of hindsight and seeing all the stories of all the people who over the last 10 years have purchased and then watching what they've done with it and how it's like blessed their lives, it's immeasurable. Like there's just a ton of people that it's completely changed the trajectory of their future lives because they've done it.
Yeah. And we're on a mission, right? We've helped a few 100,000 people at the SoundMoney wallet now. Over 100,000 people who we've helped in their households. But guess what? We set out to help a few million. And in the next decade, we've got to turn that into several million people, Zach, because there's so much need. So if you're a listener and you use the SoundMoney wallet, hey, take advantage of your affiliate link. It's free. Share it with somebody else. Like it's mission for us. This is mission driven. We can help more households than ever before by sharing. How is it hedge against a fiat currency? I hope, Zach, that our government doesn't get stupid. And as we continue to see inflation rise and our dollar become worth less and less, I hope our politicians don't become stupid. I don't have a lot of faith, but I hope they don't do dumb things like India and try and, tax it for 15% in order to drive money away from it. But hey,
hey, we're